My name is Hilda and welcome back for another weekly knitting roundup video. First up, apologies for the really strange light. We've been having snow days and it's getting quite late in the afternoon because I didn't have time to film beforehand, and yeah, the light is not cooperating. But yeah, I have a bowl full of projects, my trusty cat bowl. It's not likely to ever get replaced, that guy. But yeah, let's start with the first item. I kind of showed it last week when it was nearly finished, but now it is actually finished. And it is this cardigan. It's just like this little throwover cardigan. It closes with a button. And yeah, it's nothing special really. But I shall put it on and attempt to have some footage right here. And yeah, so it's fun. I like it a lot. And then I have some hats. Nobody's surprised. I have the second Knitting Magic book. It's not called Knitting Magic Part 2. I will have the name up on the screen because I clearly cannot remember. And in it, there is a hat that Ginny Weasley wears for the whole of like the equivalent of 5 seconds in Goblet of Fire. I certainly couldn't remember and had to do some extensive Googling. And then, well, I used DuckDuckGo. And my friend Stan, I don't know what he used, but he ended up finding a better picture after I knitted both hats. So there was that. But either I can't read patterns properly, which is an absolute possibility, or there's something well dodgy with the pattern because I don't arrive at the right amount of stitches for a 3-way cast off no matter what I do. But then this is the first attempt I made, and it's not really, it doesn't fit me. It's like the smaller size on the number 4, European number 4 needles. But yeah, it will fit my niece. So I hope she's not watching this because I shall gift this to her for her birthday. But it's still super, super cute. And I mean, I can put it on, but as you can see, it is not my size at all. But it is definitely a child's size. And I hope she will be happy with it. So that was my first attempt. And I changed the design a little bit to give it a little bit more room because I know my niece likes that. So that was on me. But everything else I feel is not on me. And then I knitted the same hat for another friend. Thanks to Stan, I now know that this color is screen accurate. I seem to have lost some footage, so that sucks, but there is thankfully this picture. So yeah, the color is screen accurate and I used Chunky Monkey by Scheepjes in the color ochre. If you want to knit it on a finer thread, because this is a chunkier one, you can use the Color Crafter variant, because I know it comes in the same color, but I don't know what the name is, but you will be able to find it on the website or in your local yarn store. And I just realized, while as I was editing, that I lost the whole clip somehow. So, yeah, here's a pumpkin. I love knitting pumpkins. So, yeah. I like knitting them on these teeny tiny sock needles. I will have one anon in the original footage. But, yeah. So, more pumpkin. So I decided to just film the missing bits after that entire photo voiceover shenanigans because I was not about to do that for like several items. So that was not happening. So yeah, I can't remember whether I showed this last week or not. And I don't have time to rewatch the video. So if you see this again, apologies. If not, this is a green hat I knitted for my eldest niece. And yeah, it is a combination of Zeeman's Julia, which has some actual wool in it, and Super Soft, which is completely synthetic. And yeah, she loves green, and I thought these were lovely green colors. So yeah, together they make this really nice shade. And I don't know if it picks up, but if you look up close up, you can really see that it's two different shades of green, and it's quite lovely. Then I have, to no one's surprise, another hat. It's also yellow. It was a yellow hat kind of time, I guess. And this is for another friend. And this is just like the Langyard's hat pattern I always use. And yeah, it is that same color, Chunky Monkey in ochre that I used for the second Ginny Weasley hat, the infamous voiceover one. But this fuzzy yarn, focus on the yarn camera, this fuzzy yarn is Scheepjes' Sweetheart Soft, if I'm not mistaken. And it kind of has this moss-like texture. And I really like it. It does shed like a demon if you make pom-poms out of it though. But eventually it'll stop shedding, I'm sure. I'm literally plucking sheds of my skirt. I did add a little bit of gold twinkle in the pom-pom for just pom-pom twinkles. And yeah. I hope my friend will be happy with it as well. I hope my niece will be happy with hers as well. And then a project I was working on last week, and admittedly, in the initial footage, there was less progress than there is now, but so yeah, this is the Hedwig top by Fable Knitwear that I'm knitting on a number 6 needle instead of 4, because I'm kind of in between the small and the medium, and I was thinking if I knit this as a chunky sweater vest, a debardurke as we call them in Dutch. I think it might be a Flemish thing, but yeah, so a debardurke. And yeah, I think it's coming out really fun. I was last week knitting an actual debardurke in this, but I was combining it together with a beige Bravo, Sachermayer Nomota Bravo, and I had initially knitted a double rib, and the double rib was just too chunky with the two yarns together. And also, I just didn't like how the Pavon, this one, was coming out with the beige. So I decided to just completely frog it and knit the Hedwig top from Fable Knitwear instead. And I really like how it's going. The back has been finished, and I'm now finishing up the front. I don't know if I'm gonna do the ruffle yet or not. That's a decision for later. I'm not there yet anyway. And many thanks to my friend Laura. We were knitting together on Whereby, video chat knitting. And I was a little bit confused on how to do this bit. And she kindly explained it to me. So much appreciated. And yeah, that was everything that got lost last time, but I am wearing a different top, and I don't know how well it shows up, but this is a very cool Killstar spiderweb one, and for once, the sleeves are actually long enough. Huzzah! I am wearing it over another top because, sheerness and stuff. But yeah, so back to non-editing original video Hilde for the rest of the video. I did cast on that debardurke again. So I have this Veritas Spectaculo that I showed you last week, and I'm knitting it in the round. It's not a pattern that is normally, the pattern isn't written in the round. It is written for 2 pieces that you then put together. But I decided I want to knit it in a round because flat knitting stockinette just kind of eats my sanity. I mean, it's just easier where you can just do the same stitch all the time rather than have to switch around and right sides, wrong sides. And I can do it, but I prefer not to. So yeah, so that were all my projects from this week. And then I got a few things in the mail today, which I shall quickly show you because it's not a lot. First up, I have these tiny circular needles. They're like sock needles, I think, but I use them for pumpkins and arm warmers and cup cozy, stuff like that. And these are number 3s. Adi Sock Wonder. Yeah, Sock Wonder lace. Nickel free, which is great because I'm kind of allergic to nickel. Not super badly, but I don't think I have any needles with nickel in them. But yeah, I digress. So yeah, I got these so I can knit tiny pumpkins, which is fun. I actually don't mind these needles. I know a lot of people hate the heck out of them, but I love them. I really, really enjoy them. And then I have 2 packs of stitch markers, and this I've already opened and I'm using already. I can actually show you. It's just like, see this green ring? Where is it? Here. It's just a green ring. Well, it's like that. It's like different shades of greens, and they're all ring-shaped. Tiny ones, smaller ones, larger ones. Really good. And I believe it's like 50 in there. Yeah, it's got 10 large, 20 medium, 20 small. So that's really good. And then I haven't opened these yet, but I shall when I stop filming, and then I shall put them in my box. My tiny tin of stitch markers. And yeah, so these can actually open, so these are practical for other purposes. And then my last item is this Filler pattern book. I think the original French title is Hiver en couleur. I'm not 100% certain. I got it for the Dutch patterning, a Winter vol kleur. I was able to, the website I got it from, well, Bert ordered it for me, but the website it was bought on, filomena.be, they had a option where you could see all the different models to knit, but none of the actual patterning, obviously. So I knew there was stuff in here that I wanted to knit. Now the only question is, how well will this translate to other yarns? So that's gonna be swatching and searching, I imagine. But I definitely want to knit this sweater, obviously not in either gray or pink. That would no, would just be no. But yeah, the Pull 9. Not sure how they would pronounce it in French. Pulnin? Pulnin probably. But yeah, I want to knit that one in different yarn, because the yarn they knitted it in was Fil Chic, but Fil Chic has far too high of an actual wool amount in it for me to be able to wear it, because I am not hyper allergic to wool, but fairly allergic to wool. As long as there's not a whole lot of wool in it, I'm fine. But that is like over 70% wool, and that's not gonna go well. And I don't want to knit a sweater I will then proceed to never wear, because that seems like a complete waste of money and time. However, it is practically identical in, if you look at the needle values and the needle thickness you should knit it on, it is practically identical to Fil Light, which I can absolutely wear because there's practically no wool in that. So what I'm gonna do is, because I am a very loose knitter anyway, so for me it likely won't make any difference. So I'm gonna go and just get Fil Light instead and knit it in acajou, the same color of the scarf, the super long scarf I showed you last week. I'll have a picture up on screen here. But yeah, so I'm gonna knit it in that yarn instead. And yeah, I'm gonna have to order some extra. And then whilst I'm at it, I can also buy their fake chainmail yarn, which is great. And maybe I will knit this one as well. But even though in theory it should be easier to do, because as you can see here, it's not even like a rib around the neck. It's just like a cast off, and it's really fun. And you could just like knit it plain anyway, but the problem is that it's like knit in. Well, it's not really a problem. It's just like literally 4 pieces, front, back, and sleeves, and front and back are identical. So I'm just kind of like, I should knit one in the round first before I start, piecing bits together for in the round. So yeah, there is that, because I just don't want to knit stuff that isn't in around at the moment. And also the neckline of this is quite a bit higher than the Pulnin one, and I like my necklines to be actually lower than this, but this is a men's t-shirt, so I have a lot of space. That's my Hellfire Club one. Hence the weird raglan breakup here. So yeah, I went to the Hellfire Club one, and mine is a cheapy one from Primark, so the sleeves are a special kind of too short on me. Like, this is spectacular in the too short department, but the Hellfire Club itself is like the super flocked, pleasant print on, so you win some, you lose some, I guess. I just didn't want to spend like 40 or 50 euros on a Hellfire Club top, and the Primark one was 12 because I don't wear it very often, which is probably why it's still in one piece. But you're not here to hear me ramble about my Hellfire t-shirt. So yeah, so that is my plan. I will get to this when I finish these two. So I will likely still be knitting on these next week. So there might be like a little update in shorts, because I can't imagine that this is gonna be like a whole video. But if I don't have an actual video next week, I will upload a flip through of a knitting book or a journal or a sketchbook. So either there's gonna be like a knitting update, like full-length video, or there's gonna be a flip-through video. There will be a video, but potentially not in the same format as this week, but there will be cats. Or there might have been cats in the intro. I don't know. I still have to, at this point, whilst I'm filming this, I still have to check whether I have finally amassed enough clips to make like a proper intro for this series. But yeah, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed my rambling and my running through this as fast as I can. Well, talking through this as fast as I can before the light really dies on me. So yeah, if you're new here, welcome. Subscribe if you want to stick around for more shenanigans in motion. I don't do just knitting here, but I've been knitting a lot because the light's been shit, and knitting is something that I can do all day and take along and stuff, and I like that. But I do want to go back to painting ASAP. Maybe even do a block print. But yeah, more about that at a later date. Hit that notification bell if you haven't already, because otherwise YouTube will not tell you when I've uploaded a new video. And with the bell active, it actually might. Wouldn't that be grand? But yeah, that's it for this week. I will see you next week with another video. And hopefully, I will see you then. Bye-bye! Thank you.